It's the OG Scorpion type with a mastery in passive aggression and damage over time. It is SCP-00 Poison Scorpi, with a kit of triple melt, multi-legs, and the leg ability of Desert type, which grants S rank in desert and wasteland terrains in addition to the leg standard matches. Now honestly, even though Melt and Fire may be the lesser used of all ailment-based type skills on the field, Poison Scorpi kind of takes this in stride and kind of does his own thing anyway, despite what others may say about it being a not-so-great ailment or a lesser-used ailment. But with that being said, Melt, of course, being an ailment means that it will inflict a damage over time ailment on the opponent, means that every tick of the clock or every few steps as they run back and forth across the field, they will progressively lose a little bit of HP over time. And that damage lost over time is relative and scales with the part rank. So of course, the higher the rank of the part, the more damage is eaten when the ailment does kick in. It is also worth mentioning, kind of to serve as a potential advantage, I say, or a saving or a silver lining with the DOT skills, is the fact that both Melt and Fire can stack on top of each other. So if you do mix the two together, you can potentially go for a 1-2 double DOT essentially to make an already, let's say, lesser used skill in this case even more dangerous on the field. But the desert type terrain honestly is very good too, in the sense that it does give his multi-legs, which already have pretty solid coverage across most terrains, even better coverage, especially since desert and wasteland is really only good for flight legs at the very best, since multi-ped usually only gets B rank or possibly A rank depending on the terrain in question, which would honestly make it very handy to, say, stave off any potential anti-air weaknesses in this case. As a pure set score, I do have to rate Poison Scorpi a pretty solid 5 out of 10 across the board. Very solid stats, not anything particularly glaring as a weakness, aside from the fact that he does have the triple ailment issue, which does honestly hinder his viability just a little bit, and the fact that the melt ailment itself, again, isn't necessarily one that you will see very often in a lot of high-end or a lot of high competitive meta teams. But as mixed parts, on the other hand, I do have to rate him a little higher at a 6 out of 10. Again, multi-legs do offer pretty solid coverage just under biped legs, and the desert type ability does add into this and give Poison Scorpi an extra advantage an extra step above the rest. And as mentioned, if you do want to use a melt or a DOT skill on the field, you can actually stack it with its counterpart, which is Fire, for a double DOT, or even use it as passive aggression just to kind of passively whittle the opponent down over time, and then kind of go in with a last minute Punisher once they're all whittled down enough where pierce damage or even AoE damage from a missile or a hammer can finish the job very effectively.